What's going on, guys? So give me just a couple of minutes. I'm going to come live very soon. What's going on, guys? So give me just I need to set all these devices. Oh. What's up? What's up, fams? Still need to set myself up. What's going on, guys? So welcome back to the channel. Um, Please let me know in the comment section if you can hear me. I think I see 3 people online right now. Bionano Genomics is about to announce their third quarter 2023 earnings, and let's see what it's going to be like today. Maybe the company has some kind of surprise for us. Okay, maybe they have some surprise for us. This share price is down -7% right now. It's not even important. I mean, it's more or less like this stock goes down on a daily basis. Hi, Daniel. What's up? What's going on, brother? How are you doing? How are you doing? So I need to set myself up. I just got back from work. I'm very sorry. I made a mistake with the timing. I thought I was, I forgot about the daylight savings, and I said 8:45 p.m. but right now it is 9. It's supposed to be 9:45 p.m. but I mistakenly said 8:45 p.m. That was last week, and yeah, that was my fault. So now I need to share this on Twitter. Letting a lot of people know that I am live. I need to let them know. So just give me a second, guys. I have a lot of things to share with you guys today. I have a lot of things to share with you guys. It's going to be a movie. Bngo live. Once again, Bionano Genomics is going to be reporting their earnings immediately the market closes. We have like 7 minutes left, so there's no cause for alarm at the moment. I need to get the shareable link. Today is going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Live. I'm trying to share this, I'm trying to get as many people as possible here. It's been a while since I went live. So I just shared it on Twitter, and then I'm going to share it on stock tweet as well. Stock tweet. Oh my god, it's been a while since I used stock tweet or whatever it is the name is. Okay. Bionano Genomics. Bionano Genomics. And then I'm going to share it also on my other pages so that we can have as many people as possible. Okay, on here, I think a lot of people gave up on Bionano Genomics somehow. Yeah, I Daniel, once again, I also hope it's going to be interesting. How is Slovakia? Man, I was never in Slovakia. I've been in a couple of Eastern European countries, and it's always beautiful. Okay, Eastern Europe is beautiful. You have the real local Europe. I mean, if you go to Poland, for example, you can find traditional Polish people there. Unlike here in Germany where everybody is literally foreigner. You barely see anything, traditional German in Germany. I mean, everything is just mixed up. So Bngo. Okay, so I've shared it in a couple of places. I think that's enough. So let's continue, guys. We have like 7 concurrent viewers at the moment. I think it's going to build up from there. I think more people will come. So Bionano Genomics, guys. Bngo. The stock is down -6% right now. I mean, it's been going down for how many days now, and I haven't even checked this price action. I kind of cleared my computer memory cookies, or how do you say it, and since then I have lost all my trend lines, my indicators. I've lost everything, but but if you take a look at this, you can just see that Bngo has been going down. Okay, we got to that 1.74, and then we are back down to 1.3. I think the bottom was 1.19. Okay, 1.2 was the bottom. This is literally 12 cents, guys. 12 cents. Shocking. So, and a lot of people have given up on Bionano Genomics. They have moved on. Okay. Christopher, Dayo, can you lower your mic input a little, blowing your audio out? Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to, that's a lot. That is a lot, guys. Okay, I think now it's better. Oh, 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 okay, now it's better. Thanks so much. Is it better? Let me know. But I think it's better now. I've reduced it. It was at 10. Now it's now I yeah, now it's 5. Thank you very much. Uh so Bionano Genomics, I'm going to leave this press action right here. Now let's go to the news section. We have like 2 minutes before they dropped, they dropped that bombshell. That's how much they have managed to blow in the third quarter. So BNGO to present BNGO third quarter financial results. Hosting. I'm going to open this aside so that we don't, miss it once they go. No, no, no. We don't need to open this now. I think they're going to go live in. It's going to be like 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. I think it's going to be 10:30 p.m. like always. But I'm going to Google it just for. I think it's 10:30. They are going to go live, just to be sure. Yeah, 10:30 German time. Good. So I'm going to leave this here. Now BNGO preliminary yada yada. Nothing here. Now let's go to bionanogenomics.com. What is this? Bionano Genomics. I'm going to go to their website. I think that's where they're going to be dropping it any moment from now. Investors, we just have to be refreshing the page. Sec filing. Okay, so it's going to be here. Once they drop the earnings result, I think it's going to appear here any moment from now in the next 5 minutes. BNGO down massively, guys. I have somebody, one of my copiers on eToro. I checked his account and this guy is down like minus 99.99% or something like that. Literally 100%, guys. This is super sad. And that is one of the reasons why I try to, to take losses. I try to, if something is down like minus 50% or so, I just close my eyes and close it and move on to the next one. I am not that kind of person that hold on to something until it turns to minus 100%, because I have, of course you guys can use it as tax harvesting. I think next month or so is tax harvesting. A lot of investors are going to be closing their positions that are down massively and use it to harvest their tax, or how do you guys call it in the United States? So the market has closed. BNG is down again. I shared with my patrons on Monday, when BNJ was trading around 1.6 or so, I told them it's going to go down again. I think it was when it was trading around here, 1.7, 1.6. You guys, that my patrons already know that. I shared that signal. If anybody wanted to short it, it was shorting opportunity. I mean, it's literally, I don't see anybody buying BNGO at the moment. I've been checking everywhere, and it seems it's not only Bionano Genomics. Okay, we have a lot of genomic stocks that are down massively. Even Pac Bio is also down now. Year to date, Pac Bio is also down. Year to date, Illumina is down massively, guys. If you take a look at Pac Bio year to date, Pac Bio is also year to date. Look at that. Year to date, Pac Bio is also down. Okay. How many patrons do you have? I have about 30, I think 30 patrons at the moment. 30. I have about 30 at the moment. You guys know I haven't been, sharing a lot of, videos. I haven't been making video. So I have about 30 patrons at the moment. I am waiting. Okay, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the market to turn bullish again so that at least there can be something, worthy to talk about. So I'm taking my time. So nothing yet. We just have to keep refreshing the page, and there is nothing yet. So my Bionano Genomics 9 years projection, so that I can put everything there. But I think I already put the preliminary results into my 9-year projection. Preliminary results for the third quarter. Bionano Genomics already announced how many Sapphire devices they have, managed to install. Yeah, right here. I already installed base 301, difference 20, flow cells 6,176, Q3 2023. So we just want to see how much they have spent, if really they have reduced the head counts like they promised, if they are going to be spending like 40 million US dollars again, Christopher, COVID and the mRNA vaccines drove a lot of hype in the sector overall. Aside from Bngo, I think the whole sector is just normalizing a bit from pandemic FOMO. Yeah, I think you're right. Not only COVID, 2021 was really bullish for a lot of stocks. Bngo, of course, rallied a lot from January till February 2021. But the thing is, even everything is normalizing, but I don't think Bionano Genomics should be down massively, year to date. If you compare it to the likes of, Pac Bio, for example, you can see Pac Bio year to date. Let's take a look at 5 years Pac Bio. Look at that. The 5 years, the all-time low is still there at $3.73. It's still there. Meanwhile, Bionano Genomics is, maximum is way lower than the all-time low. Look at that. The all-time low, I think it's around 3.2. So right now, Bngo is at 1.3. So Bngo is way down than Pac Bio, and they have also they literally have not enough money left. Pac Bio, on the other hand, has enough money to run their business, and yeah. Yacht Draco, what's going on? What's going on? Always nice to see you. Do you have any positions in Bionano Genomics? I don't have any position in Bngo at the moment. No short position, no buy position, no position in Bngo at the moment. Okay, so somebody said the news is out, so I'm going to refresh this page once again. I don't see anything here. This SEC filing annual report, October 22. Oh man. So I'm going to check the news section once again. I think it's out. Nothing so far. There is nothing, no news yet. Let's go to news and events. Okay, so I'm going to go to news release. All right, so Bionano Genomics results. Thank you very much, guys. So the result is out. Bionano report third quarter 2023 results and highlights recent business progress. Okay, Q3 revenue $9.3 million US dollars, guys. $9.3 million US dollars, and I think I already so I need to put this right here. 9.3 million US dollars, which of course is all-time high, higher than previously. But before we waste our time on all this total revenue, install base, yada yada, let's take a look at what they spent. Okay, I'm just going to go down and see total expenses. I don't want to waste my time. So third quarter 2023 GAAP operating expenses was, look at that, $160 million US, which includes $84 million operating expense, which included $4.1 million in GAAP only charges compared to $34 million US in the third quarter of 2020. $84.1 million US GAAP only charges compared to $34 million US in the third quarter of 2022, which included $7.6 million GAAP only. Third quarter non-GAAP operating expenses 31 million US compared to 26 million in the third quarter of 2022 and 34. So 31.8 million US. I think there's some kind of error here or some kind of joke, or what is this? Or GAAP only charges. What is this, guys? $31.8 million operating expenses compared to 26. Third quarter 2022 non-GAAP operating expenses include $77.3 million one-time impairment charge. Wow. Related to re-evaluation of goodwill, $3.8 million in stock-based compensation, $1.8 million in amortization of intangible, yada 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 yada. Cash and cash equivalents and available for sale securities were $63.6 million US dollars as of September 30, 2023. $63.6 million US dollars. And they spent $31 million US dollars. Look at that. Non-GAAP operating expense was $31.8 million US dollars. 63.6 million. 2 quarter money left, guys. And then available for sale security of 77.1. Forget about this available for sale security or what kind of grammar it is they want to call it. Available for sale securities of 77.1 million as of June 30th. Man, I need to go down. Okay, so here we have it. Total assets, it's in cash and cash equivalents 34 September 30, 2023. Cash and cash equivalents 34.5 million US dollars. My good. Total current assets 104. We don't care about that. Other long time assets, we don't care about this. Total, wow. This is, I'm going to let you guys be. I want you to decide on this. Total liability 62, operating liability, total current liability, yada yada. Go further down. Operating expenses. Look at that. Total operating expense 115 point something. These people are just spending money. Net loss 112. 2023 so far. 3 months ended September 30th. Net loss $112 million. Wow. Gross margin, third quarter gross margin 30%. GAAP gross margin percentage 30%. Okay. And then GAAP revenue 9.3. That is almost nothing. Nothing. Your revenue 9.3 million US dollars, spending tens of millions of US dollars per quarter. Total adjusted non-GAAP operating expenses 31.8 million US dollars. They spent 40. Okay, it has dropped all the way from 40 to 31 million US dollars. Of course, it has to drop because they have literally nothing left to spend. Okay, from 41 million US dollars in the second quarter of 2023 to 31. They are running out of money, guys. Bionano Genomics is running out of money. I'm going to input this data: non-GAAP operating expenses, non-GAAP operating expenses, non-GAAP. Okay. Non-GAAP 31, and then the GAAP adjusted non-GAAP GAAP cost of revenue, yada yada, non-GAAP GAAP revenue, GAAP operating expenses, GAAP selling, yada yada, 24. Dude, non-GAAP gross margin and operating expenses are non-GAAP financial measures. Bionano Genomics, this result is just horrible, guys. I'm sorry, but this result is horrible. They sold 6,174, like, we already input in the flow sales, 6,176, sorry. And then, the install base is 301. And then the difference, they installed just 20 Sapphire devices in the third quarter, 20 Sapphire devices, which is, of course, less than, what they installed in the second quarter, 22. And the highest was back in 2021, third quarter, which was 24. Fourth quarter 23, fourth quarter 23. So I think the fourth quarter of 2023, Bngo is possibly going to install just 23 Sapphire devices once again. Nothing big, nothing wow. I don't see anything. Bionano Genomics is raising money by diluting. And if you guys take a look at this, let's take a look at the after hour. I mean, nothing is happening in the after hour. I don't expect anything to happen in the after hour, and you should be expecting another reverse stock split. If this price of Bngo gets to $1 US, we should be expecting another reverse stock split. I mean, it is as simple as that. Somebody needs to buy Bionano Genomics, or the CEO needs to step down. Okay, I have made several videos, calling out the CEO. He needs to go away. I don't see any positive thing, right? That's why I stopped making videos about Bngo, guys. I mean, I literally put my everything into this company, based my channel on this company, only to get it, to receive it from the behind, from the CEO of this company. And this guy is nowhere to be found. Of course, he's not saying anything. You cannot see him on Twitter. Normally CEOs should at least be, reaching out to investors, maybe not retail investors, but at least to investors, letting us know what is going on with the company. Look at that. Flow sales has dropped. Okay, from the second quarter, flow sales was 7,056. it has dropped, okay, to 6,176 in the third quarter. So let's see, maybe, normally the third quarter is supposed to be higher than the second quarter historically. So let's see what they are going to be, reporting in the fourth quarter. And I also want to hear about this new, the device, the next generation Sapphire device. I want to hear about it. I also want to hear about, the software. They changed it from NS Clinical Software to, what is it called even? They gave it another name. I want to hear about it. Christopher, how much would you like to bet that Eric gets super confrontational and dismiss you on the earnings call? Everybody knows what Eric is going to do on the earnings call, so we just have to wait. We have like 15 minutes left, 60 minutes left, till the earnings call. Let's hear what they're going to say. Bionano Genomics hasn't been announcing anything, impressive, mind blowing, or that is going to give me some kind of hype. If you take a look at all their most recent press releases, Thompson and Thompson Genetics and Genomics in Medicine includes OGM in latest edition of what? Books? I think this is book. Thompson and Thompson Genetics and Genomics in Medicine, ninth edition, a textbook regularly used for medical students. I mean, what is my business with textbook regularly used for students? Everybody is presently talking about something that is, innovative, talking about artificial intelligence, how they are incorporating, chat GPT or whatever into their research, and, whatever. Bionano Genomics is talking about being included in some kind of textbook that is, being used by God knows high school students. Or Bionano to present at 2023 Stifel Healthcare Conference. Of course, another avenue to spend some money. What else have I missed about Bngo in the past couple of days? I think that is it. Bionano, I think that is it. That's literally what I have missed so far about Bngo. Nothing huge, guys. Nothing wow. If the likes of Pac Bio is kind of going places most recently, Pac Bio, the technology, a lot of, if you take a look at the most recent what is it called? Pac Bio had something most recently, consortium, a global Pac Bio analysis sci-fi solves global clinical. There was a consortium, or how do you call it, that Pac Bio attended, and it was full. Okay, it was packed with a lot of researchers, and so. But Bionano Genomics, a lot of people are much more interested in Pac Bio more than Bngo all of a sudden. I mean, I don't know what the CEO is doing wrong. Last 2 years was amazing for Bngo. It was hyped. A lot of people, if you go to Bionano Genomics stand, whenever they have some kind of events, it's always full. But that has died down, guys. I mean, I don't know how else I can put it. But the thing is, if you take a look at the share price of Pac Bio also year to date, I mean, all genomic stocks presently, they are suffering, because of possibly because of the market. But is this should this be a reason, okay, to jump on Bngo and start to double down Bionano Genomics, because it is down massively year to date, it's trading at 14 cents. Even this after hour is green, up 4.4, but this is, guys, this is 14 cents pre-split. Okay, nothing to celebrate. Okay, this is 14 cents. Does it mean because most of all these stocks are down massively? I would rather even put my money into Illumina right now than putting money into Bionano Genomics. Illumina is also down massively. Look at that, back to 2014 level. Okay, because they tried to acquire Grail and that didn't work out, and since then they have been suffering. Look at that, Illumina is down massively. Okay, back to 2014 level. And meanwhile, Bionano Genomics is also down massively. And I think the winner right now is Pac Bio. Okay, I'm sorry to say this, but Pac Bio is winning. Although Pac Bio is also down year to date. Okay, as an investor, Pac Bio is also down massively year to date. Okay, but I think Pac Bio is winning at the moment. I'm just not really impressed with the genomics sector. I'm not really impressed with what I am seeing presently in this sector. It seems they are just going just partying and spending investors' money. That's, I mean, until we see something about the global the inflation, and until we see Feds coming in, dropping rates, yada yada, that is when I think we can see something positive in this sector again. New CFO needs to have some really good roadmaps on this call. We just have to wait. We have like 12 minutes left. I want to see what the CEO is going to say, what is the new CFO is going to say. And I think it is positive that they reduce the expenses from 40 million to 30 million US dollars. But it would be very nice if they could cut it by 50%. Let's say they drop it down to 20 million, then I would say wow. But no, 30 million is still a lot of money, guys. A lot of a lot of money. If you take a look at my chart right here, expenses, look at that, 30 million. They have been spending since the first quarter of 2022. That was when Bionano Genomics, okay, 29 million. Since the fourth quarter of 2021, that is when they started to spend 29 million US dollars. Bngo needs to go back, okay, go way back to the first quarter of 2021 when they were spending 12 million US dollars. Then at least I would be impressed. Okay, 20, between 12 and 20, that would be at least something encouraging. And they need to stop all this giving themselves some kind of options, some stock options and stuff. The CEO made millions of US dollars within the past 3 years. I believe over 10 million US dollars the guy has made. I mean, while the share price has been going down massively, nothing encouraging, guys. Nothing encouraging. Bionano Genomics Q3 2023 revenue was 9.3 million US dollars, which represents a 29% increase over Q3 2022. Installed base of Sapphire system total 301. We already know that from the preliminary results, which represent a 39%. 6,170 nanochannel array flow cells Q3, which represents the other completed, and 80 million US dollars registered offering and concurrent private placement of senior secure convertible notes due 2025 and warrants. Guys, they are going to dilute this company until some kind of miracle happen. Conference call is what we are waiting for. Implemented initiatives intended to further reduce headcount, manufacturing costs, and operating expenses for an estimated savings starting in 2024 of approximately 33 million. This is a joke. It's a fucking joke. Reiterated full year 2022 revenue guidance of 35 to 38 million US dollars. Full year revenue guidance 35 to 38 million US dollars. This is of course what they spend in just one quarter. Q3 2023 highlights: installed base, nanofluorescent early access for. Okay, so this is what they call their new system, Stratis system. That's the new system with 10 systems available for key customers as part of an early access program before the full commercial release of the product in early 2024. If you guys don't release, Bngo should just release this full. Okay, they said the full commercial release of the product in early 2024. They should just release it already since yesterday. This company is literally dying. I mean, by 2024, they are literally going to have nothing left in this company. If this continues, if this downtrend continues, there will be nothing left in 2024. VIA software. So this is the name of the latest software, the NS clinical software that they acquired from Biodiscovery. Now VIA software with a workflow for hematological malignancies. Research begin installation at the end of July. Ongoing while development has continued towards an application for whole genome conditioner. Oh my god, guys, this I mean, I have been following Bngo. I have read a lot about Bionano Genomics. I mean, this is just the same old story. Okay, customers Practice Genomics and Augusta University received an approved gap fill rate of 1.8 million dollars for their optical genome mapping, proprietary laboratory analysis, PLA codes for hematologic malignancies, testing for Center for Medicare and Medicare Services. Okay, 1.8 million dollars. Appointed Mrs. Kama as the CFO effective September 11. Ms. Kama has an extensive background in business planning and execution, especially in operating environment that demand rigorous management of expenses to enable profitable growth. So why did you put Miss Kama in when the company is about to, go bankrupt? Why? Why now? Why didn't they send Christopher Stewart already away since last year and bring this woman in to help, save the company some money? Why now when the company is almost dead? We're going to see what she's going to do until everything runs down. Announced that two original equipment manufacturer OEM partner in China, A-Smart, Medtech, and Ecobono, obtained the reagents class 1 registration, yada yada. Okay, this more or less like FDA approval, the Chinese version, or participated at the CGC 2022 annual meeting with a broad range of yada yada. Publication featuring OGM increased 61% from the third quarter of 2022 to the third quarter of 2023, including a total of 47 human-focused publications. Key studies published during Q3 that outline support for OGM's utility for cancer and genetic disease research and in cell therapy quality control applications. So, a publication in Nature, researchers at German yada yada highlights OGM in better understanding. The first peer-reviewed benchmarking study for OGM. So, according to the CEO, Dr. Eric Holmlin, he said, I quote, "We are pleased with our Q3 2023 results." Of course, his bank account is full, which demonstrates steady growth across the install base and flow cells sold. We believe that the momentum we see building over the past year provides validation that our strategy is working. We believe that the momentum we see building over the past year provides validation. What momentum? That our strategy is working. It was important to complete the recent convertible debt financing to extend the company's cash run, which we believe will allow us to continue to advance critical products and develop our target markets to realize the full potential of OGM. We believe that the cost-saving initiatives and operational efficiencies will recently implemented will play a role in leading the company to profitability. This is laughable, guys. We believe that the cost savings initiatives. I made a video about profitability that I think the CEO of Bionano Genomics has seen a path to profitability. Let's hope he's going to talk about it today. Okay, I hope he's going to talk about that, profitability today. I want to hear what this guy is going to say about profitability. Let me open the page of the earnings call to one side so that we don't miss it. Profitability. Oh, my nose is killing me. Webcast is not yet available. Please return at the scheduled time. Okay. I'm just going to leave it here. It's not yet available. So the CEO of Bionano Genomics sees a path to profitability, guys. What else can I share? Let me share something. We still have about 3 minutes left. Fintel, stock to Fintel. I think it's on Fintel. Let's take a look at what has been going on with Bngo institutional ownership. Okay, the shareholder. It's been dropping. Look at that. November. I believe this is November. It's been dropping. Like I said I think I spoke about it in one of my most recent Bngo videos. This is going to come back down, guys. This thing is coming back down. If no miracle, this thing is coming back down. This was back in 2021 when we saw that rally from December. This is when I joined. This is when I found Bionano Genomics. We rallied, all the way like this, Institutional ownership, skyrockets, okay, to this level, and now it is coming down, which of course is normal. I think this is a lagging indicator. I think this is already somewhere around here. I think it's somewhere around there because back in 2020, December 2020, January 2021, Bngo, February 2021, Bngo was trading at all-time high already. Okay, at $15, which I think is going to be like what, over $100 today, guys. I think 150 if I'm correct, or 115. I'm not sure. So it was trending around, all-time high around here. Then, till December 2021, institutional ownership, jumped somewhere here. But I think it's already back down, guys. I think it's already somewhere around here. Now if you go further down, you can see, look at that, guys. This is red. They have been selling institutional ownership. Oppenheimer is completely out. Okay, which other, I know Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer is also, rating Bionano Genomics. I think Oppenheimer is also rating BNGO. What's the name of this guy from Oppenheimer? Of course, we haven't heard from him, for a while. The guy is also, he used to rate Bionano Genomics. He's completely out. Give me a second. I'm going to check BNGO research page. We have 1 minute left, guys. 1 minute. So all these guys are out now. Maxim Group, Oppenheimer. Francois Boys is from Oppenheimer. He has, a price target of $20 price target. So BNG is going live any moment from now. They are going to go live. Any moment from now, they should be live. Oh man. Any moment from now, Bionano Genomics should be live. Earnings call. Stock is, trading at literally the same level. So as a bonus, I'm going to give you guys 3 of my top picks, top stocks as a bonus after the earnings call. I'm going to share with you guys my best 3 stocks. Let me refresh this page. Maybe they are already okay. Not yet live. We're still waiting. We are still waiting. Not yet live. Bionano Genomics up a little bit after hour 2.2. Roblox went crazy today, guys. I gave this on Twitter, I think, when it was trading around 25.31. Let me take a look at this. Roblox past 6 months. Yeah, 25. I bought Roblox at $26, I believe, back in September. And yeah, today it went up, 11% today. But I sold it. I think I sold it around $31 or so. I bought it at 25. I sold it at 31. I'm not really a big fan of Roblox like that, but I saw opportunity in the price action. That was why I jumped on it. And I remember Intelia is reporting earnings. Let's take a look at Intelia and see what is going on with Intelia. Intelia is supposed to report their earnings today, I believe, November 9. Today is 8. Tomorrow. Okay, Intelia is reporting tomorrow, not today. My bad. I thought this was supposed to be today. Intelia is reporting tomorrow. And which other stock? I think which other stock is reporting today? Illumina? Is it Illumina? Okay, Bionano Genomics is live, guys.
And good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Bionano third quarter 2023 financial results conference call. Leading the call today is Dr. Erik Holmlin, CEO of Bionano. He is joined by Gulsen Kama, CFO of Bionano. After market close today, Bionano issued a press release announcing its financial results for the third quarter of 2023. A copy of the release can be found on the investor relations page of the company's website. I would like to remind everyone that certain statements made during this conference call may be forward-looking, including statements about Bionano's annual and quarterly revenue outlook, profitability, cash runway, commercialization and product plans, its strategic pillars and associated publicly announced milestones, the anticipated benefits and the timings of those benefits from the announced reduction in force and other cost savings initiatives, advances in obtaining reimbursement and FDA clearance for OGM, and Bionano's expectations regarding study results and publications and anticipated benefits of these studies and publications in driving adoption of OGM. Such forward-looking statements are based on current expectations, and there can be no assurances that the results contemplated in these statements will be realized. Actual results may differ materially from such statements due to a number of factors and risks, some of which are identified in Bionano's press release and Bionano's reports filed with the SEC. These forward-looking statements are based on information available to Bionano today, November 8, 2023, and the company assumes no obligation to update statements as circumstances change. In addition, to supplement Bionano's financial results reported in accordance with U.S. Generally Accepted Accounting Principles, or GAAP, the company is reporting non-GAAP operating expense and non-GAAP gross margin. These non-GAAP financial measures are not meant to be considered in isolation or as a substitute for comparable GAAP measures, should be read in conjunction with the company's consolidated financial statements prepared in accordance with GAAP, have no standardized meaning prescribed by GAAP, and are not prepared under any comprehensive set of accounting rules or principles. A description of both non-GAAP operating expense and non-GAAP gross margin, and reconciliations of non-GAAP operating expense to GAAP operating expense and non-GAAP gross margin to GAAP gross margin are identified at the end of the company's earnings release issued earlier today, which has been posted on the investor relations page of the company's website. An audio recording and webcast replay for today's conference call will also be available online on the company's investor relations page. And with that, I would like to turn the call over to Erik.
Thank you, David, and good afternoon, everyone. We accomplished a lot in Q3, and we look forward to discussing the progress in detail. Importantly, we took significant steps to reduce operating expenses and to extend our cash runway, which together help shorten the potential path to profitability. The focus on managing expenses and driving toward profitability is in part facilitated by the change in financial leadership of the company with the appointment of Gulsen Kama to the role of CFO, which was effective September 11, 2023. Gulsen is going to open the call today by walking you through our financial results for the quarter and explaining how some of the initial steps in our streamlined operational plan will reduce costs. Gulsen?
Thanks, Erik. I'm pleased to be on board at Bionano and to join the effort to help expand the adoption and utilization of OGM around the world. To achieve that goal, we have to be financially disciplined as we seize the opportunities ahead of us. With that, let me share our results for the third quarter of 2023 with you. Revenue was $9.3 million, representing a 29% year-over-year increase to the same period of 2022, which exceeded our original guidance of $8.8 to $9.2 million provided on our second quarter earnings call and is in line with our earnings pre-release. The Sapphire installed base grew to 301 systems during Q3, which represents an increase of 20 systems in the quarter and 39% growth over the installed base of 217 at the end of Q3 2022. We sold 6,176 flow cells in Q3 2023, which represents a 55% year-over-year increase over the 3,975 flow cells sold in the same period last year. GAAP gross margin for the third quarter was 30%, compared to 25% during Q3 2022, and non-GAAP gross margin was 32%, compared to 25% in the same quarter last year. Third quarter 2023 non-GAAP gross margin excludes $0.2 million in stock-based compensation. Third quarter 2023 GAAP operating expense was $116 million, compared to $34 million in the same period in 2022. Non-GAAP operating expense in Q3 2023, which excludes $84.1 million in GAAP charges as described in our press release, mainly comprised of a one-time impairment charge of $77.3 million related to revaluation of goodwill, was $31.8 million compared to $26.3 million in Q3 2022. The increase was driven by higher headcount, R&D, and marketing expenses related to product launches. Non-GAAP operating expense in the third quarter went down $2.8 million compared to $34.6 million in Q2 2023, mainly as a result of headcount reductions implemented in May of this year. We raised net proceeds of $12.7 million on our ATM facility, selling on a split-adjusted basis 2.11 million shares at an average price of $6.16 per share. Our cash equivalents, and available-for-sale securities as of September 30th, 2023, was $63.6 million. Now I want to discuss the steps we have taken since the end of the quarter to streamline operations and to extend our cash runway. On October 9th, we implemented additional cost reductions in continuation of the reductions initiated in May of 2023. These cost savings initiatives included reduction in force and steps to reduce facility costs and discretionary spending unrelated to headcount. When taken together with the cost savings realized from the reduction in force the company announced in May, we expect to see an annual cost savings of approximately $33 million starting in 2024. We also announced the completion of an $80 million registered offering and concurrent private placement. Our objective with this financing was to obtain enough capital to provide a meaningful extension in the cash runway while also managing the dilutive impact. We believe we found a good balance in achieving both objectives through this financing. Back to you, Eric.
Thanks, Gülsen, and welcome aboard. Great results and congratulations on your first earnings call. We're pleased to have your energy and skills as we navigate an important phase for Bionano. I would now like to talk to everyone on the call about our plan going forward. I've just returned from the annual meeting of the American Society of Human Genetics in Washington, D.C., where thousands of clinical researchers, lab directors, and physicians meet to discuss the latest advances in human genetics. Based on the overwhelming number of talks, posters, publications, and mentions of optical genome mapping, I and my whole team believe that OGM is now widely recognized as a powerful alternative to traditional cytogenetics with the potential to have a tremendous impact on health outcomes and health economics. Our strategy moving forward is straightforward. We need to accelerate revenue growth and operate efficiently to reach profitability. When we first established the Elevate strategy, it was based on 6 pillars. We now see it's more important than ever to be focused on those strategies that will result in achieving our goals in as expeditious a manner as possible. Therefore, moving forward, Elevate will be based on 4 pillars. Number 1, expand global adoption and utilization of OGM in hematologic malignancies, cell and gene therapy, and rare diseases with a robust end-to-end workflow as an alternative to traditional cytogenetic techniques for efficient detection, analysis, and reporting of structural variants. Number two, clear the path for value-based reimbursement of OGM and inclusion of OGM analysis into medical society guidelines by addressing the need for large data sets showing clinical and health economic value of OGM. Number three, obtain regulatory clearances in the United States and the European Union to make adoption of OGM easier for labs that require such clearances. And number four, drive operational efficiency to shorten the path to profitability. We're making great progress along these strategic pillars. In addition to strong revenue this quarter, we saw growth in the adoption and utilization of optical genome mapping with increases in the install base of Saphyr systems and growth in flow cells sold. Installations of our newly released VIA software as a critical component of the end-to-end workflow, first for heme, began at the end of July. Many laboratories are now in various stages of integrating VIA for visualization, interpretation, and reporting of OGM data. The response to the early access program for the Stratus system has really exceeded our expectation. Stratus systems are now in the field, and installation and testing have begun. Full commercial availability of Stratus is expected early in 2024, based on our ability to ramp production. Automating sample preparation is an important component to the front end of the OGM workflow, as VIA is to streamlining the back end. Our development work to adapt isotachophoresis, or ITP, for the isolation of ultra-high molecular weight DNA for OGM on the Ionic system is progressing well, and we're on track to have a pre-commercial version of that capability in the field by the end of this year. Hamilton, which offers the long-string STAR-V system for isolating DNA for OGM, presented data at the ASHG conference showing their systems perform well. They also discussed their plans to automate the DNA labeling step for OGM. Automating as much of this workflow as possible is really important to driving maximum utilization of the higher throughput that Stratus brings to market. We also saw amazing progress around reimbursement of OGM-based tests, as two labs, Praxis Genomics and Augusta University, received an approval from CMS of $1,863.22 for their proprietary analysis, or PLA codes, for hematologic malignancy testing after going through the gap fill process with CMS. Regarding the critical mass of data in the field that's required to influence third-party payers and impact medical societies as they're evaluating the inclusion of OGM into their guidelines, I'd like to highlight the terrific growth we saw this quarter in the number of publications. Overall, publications featuring OGM were up 61% from Q3 2022 to Q3 2023, including a total of 47 human-focused publications, which demonstrates the utility of OGM in clinical research. The number of publications on rare diseases grew a remarkable 172% from 2022 to 2023, with increasingly large average numbers of samples per study. Now, we have also formally engaged with the FDA around a future FDA-cleared assay to be run on the Stratus system, and we've received positive initial feedback, and that process will continue into 2024. Looking ahead at strategic milestones we've previously outlined for the second half of 2023, we remain on track to meet our goal of installing 325 optical genome mapping systems by the end of 2023. Our prenatal and postnatal and heme malignancy studies remain on track to meet the associated milestones planned for the end of this year. And finally, I want to reiterate our full year 2023 revenue guidance, which we originally provided at the outset of the year of $35 to $38 million in top-line revenue. We look forward to updating you on our Q4 call regarding the progress toward the remaining 2023 milestones. Operator, please go ahead and open the line for questions.
Thank you. And as a reminder, to ask a question, please press star 11 on your telephone and wait for your name to be announced. To withdraw your question, please press star 11 again. Please stand by while we compile the Q&A roster. For our first question, it comes from the line of Jason McCarthy from Maxim Group. Your line is open. Please ask your question.
Hey guys, thank you for taking the question. This is Michael Okunewitch on the line for Jason. So I guess to kick off, I'd like to see if you could just give a little bit more clarity on what the pathway is to gaining FDA approval for the assay on the Strata system. What sort of data do you need to produce for that?
Yeah, hey, thanks, Michael. So the process involves a series of engagements with FDA, followed by a clinical study. The clinical study is relatively small and can be conducted within a reasonably short period. We'll likely do that trial later in 2024, and we would be seeking to establish substantial equivalence to existing standard of care methodologies. And part of the discourse that's ongoing with the FDA right now is the specific clearance path that we choose. We're fairly convinced, although it remains to be something that the FDA and we agree upon, but we're fairly convinced that pre-market approval won't be required. But there are other paths around 510(k) clearance that we would need to decide to follow and then get support with the FDA. So we're engaged in those discussions now. And there are certain aspects of product development ongoing to support that trial around the proper documentation in connection with the development of the product, the software, and the assay as one integrated system. But we'll be in a position, we currently hope to conduct that clinical trial sometime later in 2024.
All right, thank you. And then I would like to just follow up and see if you could provide a bit more color on the financing, and in particular in the context of trying to understand your cash balance and how that looks going forward. Could you explain a bit more about how the redemption feature works that was utilized on November 1st, and then do the redemptions include the full amount of interest on the amount redeemed, or is that prorated to the amount of time elapsed until maturity?
So, with regard to the convertible debt deal overall, I think, as you know, there's a portion of it which is unrestricted and a portion of it which is restricted. The restricted portion is released upon paying down the initial unrestricted portion and then meeting other financing conditions. And so the process of retiring that initial restricted portion includes the retirement through the redemption, and the redemption feature does include the financing charges and interest on top of that.
All right, thank you for that. And then just one last one, I'll hop back in the queue. Regarding the gap fill rate that you got, that Praxis and Augusta got, how does that compare to the actual cost of the materials for running that test?
So these are rates and codes that have been obtained by those labs. And so we actually don't know, right? They submitted the application and drove the gap fill, but the standard process is to fully burden their costs and include what would be considered a fair margin. So I suspect that they have a good margin at that rate.
All right. Thank you very much for answering my question, and congrats on the progress this quarter.
Yeah, thanks, Michael.
Thank you. And for our next question, it comes from the line of Sungji Nam from Scotiabank. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks for taking the questions. Let's see here. Kicking off with Stratus, would love to hear any feedback you're getting from the early access users, including kind of what type of, if you're seeing utilization on the system, kind of, tracking in line with your expectations there. And then do you expect significant buildup of backlog heading into next year for the full commercial launch?
Thanks, Sungji. So it's a little bit early to have concrete feedback from users. So the installations have just begun, and given that it's a brand new instrument, it takes some time for us to even qualify it on site. So that process is ongoing. And what I can tell you about though is that labs are really focused on bringing on that product, in that they have identified a variety of use cases that indicate to them that they need the higher throughput that Stratus offers. And so excitement is high, and let's hope that Stratus delivers. And we, of course, believe very confidently that it will, and we're excited to have it out in the field. With regard to a backlog into 2024, I only want to say sort of anecdotally that we've had a tremendous response to Stratus that in I think many respects exceeds our expectations towards the early access program. So quite a number of labs have raised their hand and asked to be a part of that. In the event that those requests exceeded the sort of number of early access systems that we have available, which is 10, we believe that they would still be interested in adopting the full commercial model of Stratus. And what we're doing now is managing that transition between one product, the Saphyr system, into an environment where we have two products, Saphyr and Stratus. And this is one of the more tricky paths that a leadership team, especially a commercial team in this industry, has to traverse. And, so we're making sure our principal focus is that customers are excited about adopting optical genome mapping, and they get the system that's best for them, whether that's Saphyr or Stratus. And, so far, and, based on the guidance that we've provided, we think that we are navigating that transition smoothly.
Great, that's super helpful. And then just on the VIA software launch, just kind of curious if you expect all the customers, currently doing hematological research on hematological malignancies to convert over to that. Just kind of curious, kind of what you expect from a penetration standpoint.
Yeah, so I think it's reasonable to expect that the vast majority, substantially all, there's going to be that one lab that doesn't want to do it, but substantially all of the labs will convert. The timing of the conversion is a little bit dependent on their progress, because a new software would need to be revalidated in some cases, depending on how they're using the platform. And so they will pick the right point in time, and perhaps align that revalidation with bringing on, other menu items or other applications that they would be running. But, for us, the expectation is that everybody adopts, and, so we believe that will be the case.
Got it. And then lastly from me, on China, great to see a lot of your OEM customers gaining traction there. Just kind of curious, given the environment, the macro environment, and kind of a lot of the larger cap tools companies, and seeing increasing headwind in China, just kind of curious. I would love to hear your perspective just from Bionano standpoint, kind of what your expectations are kind of heading into next year in China.
Yes, it's a good question, and we're watching with great interest the reports of other companies in the space. What I can tell you is that, we reiterated guidance, full year guidance, and that includes sales to China. We've been progressing well, and so we're not seeing pressure that would cause us to come off of those numbers, but it's clear that spending on research has seen some headwinds in China. And, one of our rationalizations for us thinking that we're going to continue to progress there is that the applications that optical genome mapping get used for there are very, very close to healthcare applications, clinical research, as opposed to academic and basic research. And so that's why we were comfortable reiterating guidance. Of course, there's a global aspect to the whole revenue mix, but we're mindful of the sort of headwinds that others are facing, and we're going through China carefully this quarter.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sung-Ji.
Thank you. And for your next question, it comes from the line of Jeffrey Cohen from Ladenburg Thalmann. Jeffrey, your line is open. Please ask your question.
Oh, hi, Eric and Gulson. How are you?
We're well, Jeffrey.
So a few questions from our end. So firstly, could you maybe talk about the newer systems that have been placed for Sapphire? Could you tell us what you're seeing as far as sales or leases or per-use arrangements, as far as any flexibility that you have on the sales front, and is a outright purchase becoming more or less of an obstacle from more recent quarters?
So, the go-to-market model for the early access systems mirrors in many respects what we do for the Sapphire system. And so there's a flexible rental program and the purchase model, and the pricing on the purchase is higher. But what we're seeing in terms of the distribution, and again, it's early, so the statistical significance of the observations is probably not really well established. But what we're seeing in terms of the distribution is that it's comparable to what we see for the Sapphire system. So some rental and some purchase.
Okay, got it. And then, Gulson, could you perhaps walk us through some of the commentary as far as the $33 million in savings expected for 24? I mean, I guess how we're looking at it, you're talking about a 20% reduction off of SG&A and R&D. When could you outline perhaps for us where you're going to see some of those savings, and perhaps which line item may see a more pronounced reduction than the other? Thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey. So in terms of the $33 million savings, it is actually, some of it is coming from the cost of goods sold area, relatively small, proportionally small. And as you said, most of it is in R&D and SG&A. And big part of the savings it was actually in our pre-release. We talked about the headcount reductions. So you can, and combined with the ones that we did back in May, a big portion of the savings will come from that area. Now, we have looked through every line item on the P&L to see where else we can achieve savings. So, it varies, but I don't think there's anything that was untouched. So hard for me to give you the exact guidance, but certainly the majority is from headcount reductions.
Okay, got it. And then lastly for us, could you give us a sense of pro forma shares and cash, please? I see the Q just hit as well.
Yeah, I think it's best if you refer to the cover of the Q, and I think we described the cash balance as of 9/30, which was $63.6 million.
Perfect. Okay, thanks for taking our questions.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
Once again, if you'd like to ask a question, please press star 11 on your telephone keypad. And for your next question, it comes from the line of Frank Brisebois from Oppenheimer. Your line is open. Please ask your question.
Hi, this is Dan on for Frank. Thanks for taking my question. Just a quick one regarding Stratus. I know you mentioned that it's too early to talk about feedback, but just in terms of the early access program, is currently all 10 systems out in the field? And also, are all 10 of those users currently, were they already Sapphire users, or are they also users who are not?
Hi, Dan. What I can say is that all 10 are not out in the field, and that's not a demand issue. It's just based on our production timeline. So when we produce them, they go out. With regard to the sort of composition of users, what we see now, and this is actually really important, is that the majority of folks who are coming on board to adopt Stratus are new customers. And I think that that's a little bit of a unique component in this kind of a product cycle within the industry, and it's good. We developed the Stratus to address a segment of the market that was excited about optical genome mapping and the value that it brings to them, but unable to really implement it because of the throughput limitations that the current Sapphire has. And so when we start to see folks raising their hands to adopt Stratus and that they're new customers, what the connection there is that they actually have higher volume utilization plans for OGM in their lab. So I think that indicates that we developed the right product for a segment of the market that we're not yet penetrating. Now, over time, I think we will see the conversion of Sapphires to Stratus systems, but the purpose of Stratus is to really bring in new customers, new users who are currently on the sidelines.
Okay. And a last one from me. You started the call highlighting the Human Genetics Conference that you attended. Could you give us a sense of the feedback from that compared to, say, a year ago? Would you say there is a notable increase in the lab's presentations that included OGM this time around? And also related to that, any particular area that you are noticing increased OGM adoption applications, say rare diseases where you're seeing an increase in publications, basic versus clinical research? Any color there?
Yeah, so ASHG is really one of the premier meetings, conferences around the world. It takes place every year around this time in the fall. And ASHG is somewhat, differentiated from others in that it has a, heavy orientation towards research, but there's a lot of clinical folks there as well. And I would say that if we compare the presence of optical genome mapping in that environment this year to that of last year, what I think is, and of course this is anecdotal based on my observations, but I've reviewed those observations from all of our folks who are there. The observation is that we are really in the regular conversation of techniques that are intended to be used throughout clinical translational research. And the kinds of clinical translational research that we're talking about here are the understanding of genetic diseases. Now, that may be in a workflow where a patient gets tested and subsequently enrolled in a research program because the standard of care didn't really reveal any useful information. That happens about half the time, by the way. So that's the kind of research that's going on. The other kind of research that's going on is to really use optical genome mapping to explain very complex disorders. An example that came up in our meeting was neural tube defects, things like spina bifida and other disorders. And the genetics of these diseases are incredibly poorly understood. And what's amazing is that optical genome mapping is unlocking an incredible new understanding. Why is that important? Therapeutic application. So treatment of these disorders can be developed on the basis of this new information. And so, an abundance of these types of presentations, posters, talks, some of them in Bionano sessions that we organized, but amazingly, as part of the regular program, we see optical genome mapping featured very prominently. So our observation is that with regard to that community, optical genome mapping is really part of the mainstream. And if you compare that to a year ago, it was just beginning. I think a year ago, there was a dedicated session in the regular program to optical genome mapping, but it was something that was really new. And the last thing that I'll comment on is that there were a number of important publications that are intended to represent industry-wide views. So the Thompson and Thompson Genetics and Genomics Manual, which came out earlier in the year, this was something that we were able to talk about, and the inclusion of optical genome mapping into that edition, the 9th edition, is really a step forward around the awareness of what we're doing. And then there was a rather significant review publication that came out right around the time of the start of the meeting, and it was written by many preeminent scientists and researchers who really set the tone for that entire community. And this is an extensive publication that covers not only optical genome mapping, of course, but all of the different methods. And when you look at publications like that, they're starting to spell out algorithms that discuss the use of optical genome mapping alongside all the other tools. So the reason that kind of advancement is so incredibly important is that when Bionano commercial teams goes to a lab and says, "Hi, I'm here to talk to you about optical genome mapping." A year ago, the question that they would get is, where does optical genome mapping fit in my lab and what should I do with it? But now, after all these publications, they understand the answers to those questions before we meet them. It's a huge leap forward for us, so thanks for giving me a chance to talk about it.
Thank you. That's very encouraging. Thanks for taking my questions.
Thank you. And there are no further questions at this time. I would now like to turn the conference back to Aaron Holmlin, CEO, for closing remarks.
Thanks, Kyle. I appreciate everyone joining here today. We're excited to finish out this fourth quarter and then share with you the results after the end of the year and our full year call. So thank you very much for joining today.
This concludes today's conference call. Thank you for participating. You may now disconnect.
Titanic. This literally Titanic, guys. I mean, the CEO didn't talk about, profitability. The only positive thing that he was even supposed to talk about FDA approval was moved to the second half of 2024. The question now is Bionano Genomics going to be around, okay, under Eric Holmlin in 2024? That is the question. If they have, 66 million US dollars left in cash, and they are already, they spent like 30 million US dollars, 31 million US dollars. They have 63.6 million US dollars left in cash. Okay, that is going to last for just 2 quarters, fourth quarter, and then the first quarter of 2024. So, and now he's talking about FDA approval towards the second half of 2024. You guys should just expect dilution after dilution. This money is not going to last Bngo for more than 2 quarters, sadly. So I mean, I don't say anything positive. You guys know that I always talk from the price action point of view. I don't see any reason for me to buy Bngo right now. I don't see it. I'm sorry. I just don't see it. I mean, the economy is, we have inflation getting out of hand. Maybe if Fed comes in tomorrow and say, okay, they are going to be cutting interest rate like, 200 basis points, okay, maybe then some stocks like Bngo is also going to rally along with all those stocks that are not yet stocks of companies that are not yet profitable and losing money, because then the cost of borrowing money is going to be cheaper. It means Bngo can go to the bank and take some loan, take some debt, and at very cheap rate. But if that is not happening, I don't see any reason, anything positive. It's literally this earnings call is even horrible. I think Oppenheimer, I forgot the guy's name. This guy from Oppenheimer. Is it Oppenheimer? I don't really. Let me check once again. I think that guy, he was asking Bionano Genomics some question, and Eric was unable to answer that question. He was asking Eric about he was trying to see if Eric was going to give him something positive, but Eric didn't. I still have to listen to that once again. What's the name of this guy once again? Jeffrey Cohen from Landeberg, Talma and Co. Jeffrey Cohen. He was trying to ask Eric. I think this guy is going to come in because this guy is the person. Let me show you guys what I'm watching right now. This guy, he's where is it? This guy is the only person with 48. This guy has 48 US dollars price target on Bionano Genomics right here. So Jeffrey Cohen, Landeberg, Talma and Co. He has 48 US dollars price target on the share price of the company on Bngo, 48 US dollars. So he was trying to ask Eric some kind of question about the progress of the company, cash. I think it was about cash at hand, and Eric wasn't able to answer that question. Even the chief financial officer was also asking about how they plan to cut the cost. Okay, and then she was like, okay, we're just going to keep laying off some workers. We checked everywhere, and the only place we could find was in employment, where we could find how to save some money, cut some cost, was in employment, in head count. So in the second half of this year, first half of this year, second quarter, we laid off a lot of people, yada yada. That was literally how they were able to save like 10 million US dollars this quarter, okay, instead of 40 million US dollars. And I think that what she also said was, that is what they'll keep doing. So maybe they'll just keep laying off people until they can cut the cost to $20 million. In a nutshell, Jeffrey Cohen didn't. I don't think the guy got what he was looking for. So you guys should expect him to come in and reiterate his price target on BNGO. Maybe he's going to switch over to hold. I don't understand why all of these guys, nobody has a hold rating on BNGO. All of them just have buy, 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 buy. Meanwhile, the share price of the company has been going down massively. So I don't know why nobody has hold, nobody has sell, everybody just has buy. And I mean, I don't know what is going on, guys. I don't know what the plan of Eric is. Maybe you guys, I'm trying my best here, guys. I don't know the plan of this guy. Maybe he's trying to run this company down, or I have no idea. And it seems as if he kind of sees some kind of, he believes that in the future Bionano Genomics is going to be profitable if everything keeps going down like this. I just don't get it. If you just need to take a look at the price action of this company. I mean, before you put your money into any stock, you have to take a look at the price action. Take a look at where when they IPO'd in back in 2018, they IPO'd around $63, guys. Okay, that was pre-split $6, and then it is trading at $1.3. Which investor in his or her right senses will put money in such a company when we have a lot of companies out there making money right now? Like I promised you guys that I was going to give you guys 3 of my top picks right now. Okay, the first one is Nvidia. We have Nvidia, or how some people call it. We have Nvidia, literally selling the axe that all these AI researchers, I'm talking about ChatGPT, Microsoft just mentioned it, Palantir, the GPU that they are using. Nvidia has like 90% of this market captured. Okay, we have Nvidia making money like crazy. And then we have for those of you that are into Tesla is my number 2. Tesla, in my opinion, we have the Cybertruck coming. They're going to be releasing it. The delivery is at the end of this month. And then Elon Musk also spoke about the $25,000, Model 2 or whatever it is they want to call it. And I think Tesla right now is the best, company in terms of EV, in terms of automobile to put your money right now. I think it is Tesla, not even Ford. We have Ford, we have GM, not all this. Forget about those stocks. We have even Rivian. Rivian reported yesterday, and the stock opened with a cap up, but today it's closed down -2%. I'm not a buyer of Rivian, long time. My patrons know that they know I don't buy Rivian anymore. What I am buying right now, of course, I'm buying Xpeng, because I think Xpeng is going to take over Model 3 and Model Y from Tesla, because Tesla is going to be focusing on, in my opinion, I think Tesla is going to be focusing more on the Cybertruck and the $25,000 model, because the price of raw materials has gone down. If you take a look at palladium, platinum, all this, and what they need for battery, the price of raw material, is at historical low. Okay, and then I have Apple. Okay, that is my third stock. Apple is going to be releasing their Vision Pro next year, and I think Apple is still literally the best company out there, in my opinion. Okay, of course we have Microsoft as well, but I prefer to just hold on to Apple. So now tell me, if you have all these stocks, all these companies out there thriving in this high interest rate time, why would anybody in their common sense, anybody with common sense, put their money into Bionano Genomics if the CEO cannot even say something? Man, guys, I think that's all I have for you guys today. So let me know what you guys are doing in the comment section. Now Laku LA, I would just say LA. Why are you making a video like this? It's like you are advocating instead. Also, anti-advertising is advertising. There are other stocks on the stock exchange that you can make interesting videos for, right? Of course, I have other stocks, in my portfolio that I am still discussing with my patrons. I don't have the time right now. I just want to, because I have a lot of followers that are still invested in Bionano Genomics, and that's why I come here on a daily basis. I mean, not only daily basis anymore. That's why I'm here right now, for example, to talk about the earnings, to listen to the CEO. If you start something, you have to finish it. So that is why I am here. Okay, I hope that answers your question, because a lot of people are telling me not to make video anymore about BNU. You don't have the right to tell anybody what they should. I'm not telling you to come and watch my video right now, so you don't also have the right to tell me not to make video, not to come live. Okay. Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to end it today. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Christopher, thanks so much. Daniel, thank you. KB, thank you so much. Draco, shout out to you guys. Shout out to all my channel members. Of course, I still have great content prepared for you guys, but there's no need to rush. Okay, there is no need to rush, guys. Some stocks are trading at historical high right now. Meanwhile, a lot of stocks are presently trading at all-time low. For example, Disney, for example, if you take a look at Disney, they reported today and they are positive after earnings. Disney is up like 3.5%. If you take a look at Max, Disney is also down where is it? 5 years. Why is it not loading? Disney is also down massive 5 years. Okay, look at that. Disney is also down massively from all-time high of 184 right now at 84 US dollars. If you go to Max, you can see Disney, for example, they reported and it came in positive. We have Disney, we have a lot of stocks out there. Okay, Intel is going to report from tomorrow, for example, for those of you that are looking for something to buy. But I am just waiting for the market, for all this interest rates, inflation. I am waiting for inflation to come down to the Fed level, for example. They are waiting for inflation to come down to 2%. I'm still waiting little by little. Okay, at least maybe when the Fed cut the first interest rate, because I know a lot of you guys are more or less interested in stocks like Nano Dimension, all this, mostly stocks that are not yet stock of companies that are not yet profitable, like Nano Dimension, for example. Okay, they have a lot of cash in hand, but at the same time the market cap has dropped. Look at that, 594 million market cap. So I know you guys like stocks like Nano Dimension and some other stocks, but I want to provide you guys with good solid stocks, but I don't think now is the best time. So I'm still waiting. When the time is right, I'm going to come in and talk about it. My channel is not going anywhere. So all right, guys, have a wonderful evening. I remember your boy Dayo. This is Frunkla. Ciao, ciao.